My guest today is Alicia. Alicia is a very close friend of mine and has been for several years. She is a talented digital marketing executive in the health and wellness world, and we've been friends since June of 2018. She's endlessly passionate about fitness, well being, dark chocolate, and an impressive collection of fabulous and very expensive shoes. Over the years, we've had the chance to work together professionally, and even after moving on to new opportunities, our friendship has remained a constant. Whether we're catching up on a ski lift in Park City, Utah, soaking up the sun in San Diego, California, or brunching in Kansas City, Missouri, Alicia has always been a loyal supporter, cheerleader, and someone who truly celebrates every chapter of my journey. Alicia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kris. I'm so happy to be here and be speaking with you.
I'm super excited. I know you're a pro at this. Actually, you've been a guest speaker on far more things than I'm certain that I've led at this point in time, because that's what you do. You get on camera and you interview people, and people interview you. And so I'm looking very forward to this. And I'm sure I will learn some things from you as we trudge through the rest of our conversation here.
Well, I can tell you this one is the most personal and the most important, and the one that I've been the most nervous about.
Well, I hope to set your nerves at ease because right now no one else is listening or watching. It's just me and you. So we're just going to talk to each other like we would have talked to each other at that one job that we shared where we used to close the door to my office and talk for hours.
Sounds
And
good.
that's actually where I want to start because I was wanting to see if you recalled the first time that we met each other.
I very much recall it because it was one of my more finer moments in being a stalker. And I was working somewhere and there was news throughout the office that a new employee was joining. And I was very curious because I knew I'd be working with this person, and culture and energy and personality really important to me. So I heard that you were in the lobby. Days were going by, just all talking about who this person is. And it was making me very, very curious. And then the day came that you were in the lobby, and someone mentioned that you were there waiting for, it might have been one of your interviews, or I don't
I
think it
think
was your
so.
first day. And so I made a point to go out in the lobby and pretend I was walking by as you were reading articles on the wall. And I just happened to ask if you needed help or what you were doing there.
That's exactly what happened. And you obviously, being someone who worked there, had an extra air of confidence about you, and you just immediately struck me. I obviously my first impression was, oh my gosh, she's absolutely stunning.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my life. And then you were so friendly, and the perspective I was coming from was, a person. I think I'm actually almost certain that was one of my very first interviews. So I didn't know very many people in that organization at all. And it was just so nice to have somebody that was A, easy to talk to, B, that engaged me first, and C, as I have come to know, that is just as genuine and polite and thoughtful and kind along every step of this journey that we have kind of shared together. Honestly, I should blame you for me taking that job because you were the reason. You were the reason. You sold me on them. I'm like, oh my gosh, if everybody that works here is like her, I absolutely need to be here too. And well, we both know how that ended.
I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. It's like I introduced you to a bad boyfriend.
No, it was, if we had not had the opportunity to share that space together and work on the same team, A, I don't know how I would have gotten through my divorce, and B,
Mhm.
we wouldn't be here today. And we've had so many amazing experiences and memories that we've been lucky enough to share. I would not have wanted to miss out on being a part of each other's lives for anything.
Oh, that's so sweet. And I definitely feel the same. And it goes to show there's good that comes from difficult situations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When we worked together back then,
Mhm.
did you ever have any sense that we'd become such good friends?
Yes. Yes. I knew well, the first time I met you, so in that lobby when we had a little chat and everything, I walked away thinking, this is a great person. This is a person I can work with. We're going to mesh really well. He has a wonderful energy about him. He's super creative. He's going to teach me things that I definitely don't know. I'm going to be a better employee because of him. My mind was all about the work side of it. And then I think within a week or two of you starting, we had a trip to San Diego to that amazing retreat.
We did. We were so lucky.
We're so lucky. And we
Day
were
two, go to San Diego on a wellness resort for a
and,
retreat.
and we were on this amazing, fabulous resort, cliffside in Southern California. And we spent so much time together over the course of a few days. And I thought, my gosh, this is someone who's going to be a great friend of mine. And you just had such fun stories, and our personalities worked really well. And one of the tests for me is if you can travel with someone and not get on their nerves, that's such a big sign, because you can be great friends with someone. And by the time you get to the airport and you see how they travel, you know you're done. And with
A
you, it
hundred
was like
percent.
we are on the same page with everything. So I
And
knew we'd be great friends.
it was so great to experience that also, since we were fortunate enough to take several trips together for work. It was nice to know that you were traveling with somebody that not only understood like your travel oddities,
Mhm.
but also was super relaxed and accepting of them, and just we're traveling together, let's have some fun. And I think every place we ended up going, I feel like we sought out something outside of the area that we were in to experience something about that local community or that local life. Like, we spent time at the beach in San Diego. We rode on the ski lifts whenever there was no snow on the ground. It just, things like that were so incredible to be able to do.
Remember when we were in Park City and we did that like singular roller coaster slide thing down the mountain, like the
Yes,
Alpine slide thing? That was
that was so
terrifying.
much fun.
And it was super fast.
That was the first time I had ever ridden one of those mountain coaster things, and I fell in love with them. I think I've gone on like 3 different ones now, and they're always so much fun to go down. I could probably spend like a whole day just going back, climbing up the mountain, going back down, climbing back up the mountain. It's so much fun.
It was so much fun. And one of the things I loved about that particular business trip is not only was I on the stage, but I was able to share the stage with you. So we both
That's
had a
right.
moment of public speaking, which is my favorite thing. And then to share it with one of my favorite people was even more special, and just a great memory of mine.
I definitely agree. I feel like we needed those good positive moments because that year was an extremely difficult year for me in general. I started that position knowing that there were some things that were not going well in my marriage. And over the course of that next year, you had a front row seat to watching my marriage unravel. And I spiraled out of control, but you actually came in and not only did the active listening job that a great friend would do, but you actually taught me tangible life skills.
Mm.
And I honestly can't say that about many people that I have had a friendship with, or certainly a close friendship with. But I remember we talked about things. Well, I had never meditated until after you told me a little bit more about what meditation does for you. And meditation is still something that I believe in today. And there are some days when I absolutely can't live without it. So that has been a life-saving lesson. We talked about things like tapping, and we were exploring like how that might work, and even just the art of breathing. And those are things that, I mean, obviously I know how to breathe, but when you're breathing with intention
Yes.
in a state of meditation, we're talking about a different kind of breathing. And those were things that I had really not ever given much thought to, or even thought there was much validity to, quite honestly. But they all ended up being tools that I used. And those tools not only helped me cope with divorce, they helped me get my body in the best physical condition that it had ever been in my life. I
Mhm.
think I lost close to 100 pounds over the course of that time.
I remember.
And there's just so many small nuggets of greatness that came from our friendship during that time, which was 95% cloudy. I just can never appreciate you enough for just staying close to me in those times and being a kind of like a lifeboat in that storm. When you think about like that, because I know I just brought it all back to your memory, was it ever hard for you to stay close with a friend who was spiraling out of control like that?
It wasn't. It wasn't at all. And I'll tell you why. I, of course, have had really, really difficult times in my life. And I think the year before was very, very challenging for me. And during that time, I wanted to make it worthwhile. So, as dark as it was, and as hopeless as it seems, and as excruciating as it was on a daily basis and confusing, I wanted to get through it with tools. So that way, when I got to the other side, I will have learned something. I will have know that I got through it. And then as hard times come throughout our lives, I can go back and think, oh, well, I got this tool from that time. So when I met you and you were having all those challenges, I could relate because it was so close to a year that I had had. And I also had these tools that I knew really, really helped me. And what I really wanted to share with you during that time is it's not just one thing. It's not just, okay, just sit here and breathe through it. You need to be open and have every option on the table and think, okay, today I'm just going to wallow because I need to cry. I need to get this out and I need to just feel sorry for myself and go through it. And then there's other times where you have to say, okay, like it's time to put that away because I have to do something else. And how am I going to do this something else when I have no energy and I feel awful? And that's when you kind of are open to other things. And I was happy to share with you. And I was grateful, number one, that you were receptive and you made me feel valuable because I was sharing things that really helped me. And so it was kind of a reciprocal friendship.
I love that. I felt like, especially at that time, and I'm sure that I probably said this at one point in time, but I felt like it was so one-sided because you were such an amazing support system, and I didn't feel like I was bringing much to the table. It didn't have a professional impact. So I hope that over the course of the last almost decade, that I've offered back a little bit in return to thank you without necessarily saying those words, just in my support and friendship. That has
Well,
certainly been my intention.
Well, you have, and you have thanked me many, many times. But the best way to make someone feel important is to make them feel valued. And you did that on a regular basis through your actions and through our conversations and through your presence. Even when you were not in town, we still stayed in touch and you were still part of my life. And that's something I have to thank you for because you made me feel like I was doing something helpful. And at the end of the day, helping people and making your friend's life a little bit better or giving somebody a tool or whatever is what helps you sleep at night and makes you feel like you're doing something good in this world. So you've been a wonderful friend that way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Whether it's giving back in by sharing things that have worked for you, strategies that have helped you get through your difficult times, or just being a great active listener and a great work partner and someone who's just awesome to be around and just super in sync with my own personality and all of the crazy parts about me. How do you, before I ask this, I guess, I feel like there's probably going to be a good chunk of folks listening that the reason they came here might be to share in the time that you and I get together, that this message could resonate with them, and that perhaps there might be someone in their life that once they had a connection with, and then as things do, people get off of social networks, and then those were the vehicles through which they were communicating, and now they don't stay in touch like they used to, and those friendships have gone to the wayside. How do we make our friendship work when we don't see each other every day or every week?
It's a great question because, as you know, I'm not someone who has to talk on the phone every single day or text every single day. And people who do call and text me every day give me like major anxiety.
Same.
But I know whenever I'm with you, whether it's, a month or as we celebrated Christmas in May.
That's right.
It was genuine. And for me, if you and I and Anthony have brunch scheduled and you text me and say, hey, you know what? I am not feeling brunch today. For me, I don't get upset. My thought is, I want you to feel better and I want us to get together and have a great time. So I always know going into any conversation that it's coming from a great place. So if you cancel or if you don't call back or whatever, I'm just kind of making stuff up. I never jump to Kris is mad at me or I can't believe Kris did that to me. My instinct is to always go to the good and think, I hope my friend is okay. And I look forward to seeing him again. And if it means that we celebrate Christmas in May, that's fine because I'm excited to do that as well.
And folks, it did mean celebrating Christmas in May. Also, warning to any servers who might be listening who encounter us at a brunch. Just let us chat for the first hour and just refill the coffee. We will order food eventually, but we have to catch up first.
And we tip well. We will tip well for
and
that
we
hour.
do tip well. We will pay for the extra hour we kept your table away from other customers.
Yes. So I think really to be a great friend is to always assume the best.
Agreed. And I think life is too short to invest the time and thinking about all of the other things.
Totally agree. And do you remember, as we were talking before, I remember one day when we were working together, you were having a really, really tough day, like a really emotional day. And I came into your office, you were almost hyperventilating. You couldn't even speak really well because you were just so upset. And I said to you, I promise you in 3 months or in 6 months and in a year from now, it's not going to hurt like it does right now. And it may not take it away immediately, but just keep that in the back of your mind. And I think you did. Like that was something we've spoken about over the years, how that kept coming back to you.
Oh, yeah.
And a year later, when you were in a completely different place, in a completely different life, you look back at that time and you thought, why was I so upset? Like, look at how many great things and miraculous things have come in my life.
That's so true. And I do recall multiple milestones where I'm like, Alicia, you were so right. It only took a year for it to not hurt so bad. And eventually I just erased it from my mind. And I never thought that would be possible.
And you can't even feel that hurt anymore. When you think back of those times, you think, oh, they were awful and it was not fun, but the hurt, it kind of dissipates and it kind of raises like a foggy morning.
Such a great point. Alicia, every episode of Dying Out Loud has a little moment of love and gratitude from me to you. And because I'm the type of person that wants to make sure I say everything perfectly in this really special moment that we get to share, I actually wrote something.
Oh boy.
So please don't be offended
I will
if
not.
I am reading a little.
You are fine, and don't be offended when I start to cry.
My dear Alicia, the first time I saw you, I was the candidate sitting in a lobby pretending not to be nervous. You were the only person who came up to me, smiled, and made me feel human. I didn't know then that you were about to become one of the anchors in my life. As our friendship grew, my marriage was coming apart. And you did something rare. You stayed close. You didn't try to fix me. You just listened. And you literally sat in the mess with me. But then you handed me some tools and taught me some lessons and gave me a steady reminder that I was still here and I was worth showing up for. Those days were dark. I was tired, angry, and afraid of what might come next. But you were a constant light, not a loud, obnoxious light, a steady lamp in the corner type of light that never burned out. Because you held space for me, I started to believe I could rebuild. And I did. And I reached successes on my own that I never thought I would achieve. I've carried your practices and your example into every coaching session, every talk, every moment when I try to see someone else before they disappear into their own pain. We don't get brunch every week or every month, but when we do, it feels like coming up for air. Your advice is still gold. It's solid gold. Your laugh still disarms me and puts a smile on my face. And your kindness, that first small kindness in the lobby, it still echoes. Thank you for seeing me that day. Thank you for seeing me today. But most importantly, thanks for staying. Thank you for teaching me how to breathe when I forgot. I'm better, and I am here today because of you. I love you so much, my friend, and I'm so grateful that the world put us in the same hallway on that day. Thank you.
Oh, that was so beautiful. You're an amazing, amazing writer.
That's because you're an amazing, amazing friend, and it's easy to write such sweet things. But ultimately, more importantly, it's amazing to be able to say those things to you today.
Well,
oh my goodness.
Thank you so much. Amazing, amazing word. No one has ever spoken words like that before. So thank you so much for your kindness and for the time that it took for you to write that. It's so meaningful.
It's such a small little way that I can acknowledge how much our friendship has meant to me. And I think I'm going to take a couple of deep breaths. And since I've talked so much today, I wanted to give you a few minutes and give you a chance to ask questions, to reflect on a memory that you have, or chat about anything that's on the top of your mind today.
I love it. I love it. Well, my first question when you told me you were doing this podcast, the first question that came to my mind is a question that I've had for you for a very, very long time.
Wow. And you haven't asked it?
And I haven't asked it because I couldn't find the right time. And a lot of times when we're together, we're talking about fun stuff. And even though we kind of get deep on stuff, it's not really like kind of super deep. And this is the perfect time.
Awesome.
So I want to know, where do you get your bravery from? Because when I first met you at that office, you were vulnerable. You shared things throughout our friendship. You're a gay man, and a lot of people are still afraid in this day and age to admit who they are. And you are so true to yourself. From the very first day I met you, you are the most authentic person and unabashedly you. And through your divorce, through your move to Philadelphia in the very beginning of a global pandemic, to a move back to Kansas, your father's death, your diagnosis, what you've shown me, and every time I walk away from you, I think, how does he get so brave to face all of these things and own it and not shy away from it? Like, you just face it. And it's so impressive to me, and it takes my breath away. And your strength makes me feel brave when I'm afraid of things. So where does that come from?
Wow. Well, thank you for that question. That is pretty powerful. And when you first started speaking and you said brave, I chuckled because I don't know that I ever really considered it brave, mainly because it's a choice, right? I get a choice every day if I want to take my medicine, continue to push forward. There are plenty of days whenever I feel too tired to move or too achy to move. And so we don't move. We stay home on the couch those days. But I think if I would address it as bravery, I would have to say I really learned everything about bravery from the 5-year-old to 18-year-old version of myself. Being from a small Kansas town, raised by Republicans, I faced a lot. I heard a lot of things. I saw a lot of actions and experienced things that were pretty terrifying. And at the end of the day, I survived all of them. And while there wasn't necessarily, it wasn't a pain-free way of growing up by any means, I think that what I'm going through today, I'm so much better equipped to handle. There's so many amazing resources that people can use for tools and their own research. And I'm extremely well educated in my cancer and what the treatments look like. And I have studied the growth patterns of tumors and plenty of other super nerdy things like that. But what I have learned is there's zero sense in me stressing out about what I can't control. And until I'm tired of addressing it with the things that I can control it with, which would be chemo, I am going to continue plugging along. But I'm going to make sure that every single day that I am telling people thank you, that I'm letting them know I appreciate them, that I love them. And I'm positioning myself in a way that whatever happens, regardless of the length of time, I have made my best effort here and I've had an extremely amazing life. And it took me 3 tries, but I have the most amazing husband. And that, I think, was the last bit of success in life I might have needed to feel. And I feel like I did that. I proved to myself that I was worthy of someone else's love. And from the time I was 5 years old, that's all I wanted. I
Oh,
just wanted to be like the brightest star in someone's sky. And that's what I am now to my husband. And there's something really awesome in that. It might even supersede bravery, just knowing that I have somebody here for me the way that I have always showed up for people throughout life. It's pretty gratifying. And it might sound weird to say that, but all of those pieces I think are very interconnected. And, most of my opinions and thoughts and the way that I look at things now, my approach to them really stems from surviving my childhood and being gay in a small Kansas farm town.
not the popular place to be gay, Kris.
No, not at all.
They don't have much
No.
Gucci or Louis Vuitton in those small Kansas
They do
towns.
not. You are right.
So, and I can attest that your husband is one of the best human beings, and I adore him. And you know that you are Knuff.
That's right. I am Knuff. I am Knuff. Alicia got me a great Knuff sweatshirt from the Barbie movie, and it is one of my favorites. It's a great little snuggle hoodie to wear, regardless of whether it's hot or cold.
There you go. So let me ask you this. So you grew up in this Kansas town. You knew you didn't fit in. You're very, very smart. You're very metropolitan. You're not small town guy at all. You have very, very high class taste. And so, like that whole time where you just kind of, I need to get out of here and be myself. And even when I met you, you are already had a cancer diagnosis a few years before and you had beat it, but you were still out there and you're a karaoke singer and that takes bravery. And you were living this new life and you made a choice to you made a choice to have a harder life, to be truer to yourself. And is that always just a sense of, however much time I have left, I want it to count? Is that what you're thinking? Like when you wake up in the morning, what are your thoughts?
I think whenever I wake up in the morning right now, I'm like, quite honestly, praying, I hope today's not a day that my stomach is going to make me throw up or spend all day attached to a toilet. There's a little toilet humor for you colon cancer folks out there. That is genuinely the thought that I have when I wake up in the morning. But in terms of like my own preparation for the day, I usually spend about a half hour or an hour of time each morning before work just writing. And writing has become probably the most cathartic thing that I have done for myself. And I am really proud of the habit that I have created. There is not a day that passes where I don't spend a little bit of time with a fountain pen in hand and I'm writing, answering a question that I've pre-written for myself at an earlier time, and really just exploring my thoughts. I think that has done a tremendous amount for me.
Is there some insight that has come maybe the past few months that took you by surprise?
The last few months I have been actually focused on my relationship with money. We are going to spare you all the details of that. Let me just say that after writing about different topics or answering different questions or prompts surrounding the topic of money, I've definitely highlighted some opportunities for myself. And while money is not one of the top focuses in my life at this point in time, I do want to make sure that whenever I am no longer here, that nobody has to worry about anything of mine and that my family is taken care of. I think there are probably some lessons that I would love to, or not lessons as much as light bulbs or key learnings, key takeaways that I have come up with that I think I should share and pass along with my kids. But that's probably, as a topic, I think I have focused more on that and the way I have treated my relationship with money throughout my life. I've focused a lot on that in the last month.
Interesting. And did you find any new thoughts about, you and I both love the Gucci driving moccasins, which is what's not to love. But on one hand, you think, gosh, why would I spend this much money on them? What a waste. But on the other hand, if it makes me happy and it brings me joy, I should just buy them because I want to be happy.
That's my message for everything these days. If it makes me happy, we should buy it or we should do it, which is probably why I'm staring at 15 little Labubu pendants and I have a collection of like 10 more because they reminded me of a really great experience from childhood, and I felt compelled to surround myself with them. And the only reason is because they bring me joy and they make me smile. Like, truly, just looking at them right now, I'm just so excited to see the rainbow of faces in front of me. And it's a motivating thing for me. Some people like Louis Vuitton bags. I
You
do
would be
too.
one of those people.
But I can't have a million of them.
But you have more than one.
But yes, so it is about that joy and support for sure. Like that joy, the support, that the things that you draw on that kind of fuel your motivation to jump out of bed with a smile and then have a Taylor Swift concert in the bathroom as you're showering. It takes energy to do all of those things, and energy is pretty sparse these days. It's just, I think it's all of the goodness that is happening in life right now that is really doing that. And quite honestly, all that goodness is far better than any chemo could ever be. Alicia, we are out of time.
It went so fast.
I want to give you one more chance to share any last message with our audience today.
Well, message is how important friendships are, how important it is to keep in touch and to always see the good in people, and how wonderful it is to be a trusted confidant, to be a brunch partner, to be a shopping partner, to be a travel partner. And life is so much more fun when you have wonderful, wonderful, kind, sweet people to share it with, and who will share your success and be even happier for you for your success than you are yourself. And that's how I've always been for you.
100%. And don't forget the person that will also share their dinner dessert with you.
Yes.
Because that is always me.
Yes.
So, Alicia, thank you so much for being here today. This was an amazing conversation. And as I do every episode, I just want to remind all of our listeners to take this moment right now, pick up the phone and send a text, or better yet, FaceTime someone that you have lost touch with and say the thing that you've been meaning to say right now. That's it for today, and we'll talk to you all next week.